I am Christy Ballard Fellaini. I am a certified life coach who found herself at 42, freshly divorced, kids off to college, and having never dated in my adult life. I was starting in the middle. If you haven't yet hit start on your middle time in life, let's do it together. Let the journey begin. You are listening to Start in the Middle, episode 41. Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for being here today. I just listened to my theme song if it sounds like I'm a little bit out of breath. But that song puts me on fire, puts a fire in my belly. It's Say I Won't by Mercy Me. You need to borrow that. You need to borrow that theme song. Get some fire in you, because I tell you what, when I listen to that song, it reminds me that everything is possible, and everything is available to me if I want it. Absolutely available to me, just as it is available to you. So if you want it, I'm hoping that this podcast, that this message is going to light some fire for you. It's going to put some fire under your feet and make you want to do the thing. Because I tell you what, in case you didn't know, the cat's out of the bag. Cat's out of the bag. I posted earlier this week on my social media that I have resigned from my full-time teaching position. That after 12 years of teaching young people, I have resigned, and I have decided to utilize my teaching skills and all of the skills and knowledge that I have invested in myself over the last 5 years. I'm investing it in you, midlife women. I am investing in myself, and I am investing in you. And so I am going to be a full-time entrepreneur. How exciting and very scary is that? But you know what? The excitement right now is overpowering the scary. So every time that it gets scary, I'm coming back to this podcast. Every time that fear sets in, and being an entrepreneur, sometimes we do get into that fear mode. And sometimes we do get into that thought process of, what am I doing this for? Or maybe it's not happening fast enough, right? But I'm coming back to this podcast, because in this podcast, I'm going to share with you why. I'm going to share with you how. Okay? So the things that I share with you today is my process of how I even came to this point, right? Because teaching, it's a sure thing, right? Being a teacher, there are always going to be teaching opportunities. There are always going to be teaching jobs open, right? But that's not what I want for me anymore. I've decided that I want something different. And when you decide that you want something different, don't be stagnant in it. Don't let it go by. Don't tell yourself it's for another time. Don't allow the thought to pop into your brain that that's not for me, or when things are different, I may pursue that dream, or I have to do all of these things before I can pursue it. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. Are you ready? All right. So here we go. As I mentioned, I have decided to resign from my classroom position so that I can pursue my business full time. Okay. But what I want to share with you today is just how hard this decision was to make. And this is not something that I just jumped right into full steam ahead. I would say that it has taken me about 3 to 5 years to come to this decision and to really put my faith in it and to move forward with it. So I hope you don't mind if I share my journey with you a little bit. So what I want to share with you first is that if you know a teacher, if you have a teacher in your life, please hug them and love on them every chance you possibly can. Because I'm telling you, teaching is a tough profession. And so many teachers love what they do. And they are caregivers and they are nurturers at heart. And that is often why we take things so personally. And by personally, I mean the majority of the teachers that I personally have come in contact with over my teaching career will lay their own personal health on the line for their students, as if they were their own children. They sacrifice their time. They sacrifice their mental health. They sacrifice their physical health. And they will tell themselves that they do not have time for themselves or for their families because they are spending their nights and weekends creating engaging lessons that will never captivate or give the high engaging stimulation that of a video or a TikTok reel or a YouTuber that our students are watching and paying attention to. So ladies and gentlemen, no matter how engaging your lesson will be, it's never going to engage and grab the attention of what our students are dealing with today, with the immediate stimulation that our students have at the touch of a button. So stop beating yourself up over it, because you are still going to be pressed forward towards the high expectations of those students achieving. And it is okay that you are not able to compete with a video game, with a TikTok reel. You do the best that you can with the knowledge and the skills that you have. So teachers, let me just tell you, I see you. I know who you are. I see your struggles, and it doesn't have to be that way. And I'm not talking about trying to talk you into not teaching anymore. No. I'm talking about changing your mindset around how you're currently doing it. It's totally possible. It is totally possible to show up for your students in an authentic way. It's totally possible for you to have the relationships with them that foster their want for learning, that foster their want to take total responsibility of the education that you have available to them. So you don't have to jump through hoops. You don't have to create TikTok style lessons to get them engaged. Okay? Changing your mindset around what you're currently doing can help you to become that teacher who loves walking into the classroom every day, can help you to be that teacher that leaves on time every day, and can help you be that teacher who puts it away on Friday and enjoys your weekend with your family. It's available to you. I promise. I've done it the last 3 years. All right. So enough about that. What I do want to share with you, you can apply to anything and every area of your life. You can apply these strategies to any area that is not serving you. And even if you just want more love and fulfillment and joy in your life, these are the strategies that you can apply. This is why I got into coaching. This is why I decided I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and why I wanted to work specifically with midlife women because that's me. That's my tribe. I have women in my life who are settling for less than fulfilled. I have women in my life who have allowed their light to be dimmed by settling for this is all there is to life. But first, let me tell you a hard truth. If this is what you're settling for every day, ladies, this is exactly what you're going to get. I'm going to trust that I'm going to give you that spark. I am going to trust that my trusting in my own curiosity and my willingness to step out in my bravery and sharing that with you is going to help you to decide to move forward for yourself. I am trusting that living my life out loud, even though it's scary, because let me tell you, it is. But my sharing the scary with you, I'm hoping is exactly what you need to know so that you can see that you can do this too. Believe it, friends. You can do anything you want. And I want to share with you my journey thus far. You see, the other day, I was doing some homework that my own coach gave me. You see, he asked me to do some work on the shitty stories that I have been allowing my brain to believe. One of them I want to share with you. So here's the thought that I have been having. And you may have picked up on this in one of our earlier episodes. But here's the thought that my brain has been saying. Other people are waiting to see you fail. Hey, and in case you didn't know this, what this really translates to is it's not other people. Basically, what it translates to is you are waiting to see you fail. And then the second half of this exercise was to rewrite that story. Okay. So this is a thought that I don't want to believe anymore. This is something that I don't want to hold back my pursuit of my happiness. Okay. This is a thought that I consciously want to work on changing. So when I really took a deep look into how I would rewrite that, it reminded me that I've done some pretty scary things in my life. I've done some things that other people have literally said, I would never do that. So some of the scary things that I have done when I really took the time to kind of sit back and to reflect on how I don't want to hold myself back anymore. And I thought about, wait a minute, girl, you've done some crazy things. You've done some things in your life that are really noteworthy. Like say, for instance, in case you didn't know, back in my 30s, I owned a jazzercise franchise. Yes, I owned my own business. I taught jazzercise. And let me tell you something. If you have this picture in your mind about leg warmers and blah, blah, blah about jazzercise, girl, you need to check them out because they are moving with the times. And it is super fun and super amazing. Okay? That's just a side note. All right? Some other things that I've done to propel myself in my life that I don't give myself credit for. I loved my kids so hard that I have traveled all over the United States to help my son pursue his passion. And a lot of people said, you're crazy for doing that. The other thing is I am the only one out of the 5 girls in my family to have earned both a bachelor's degree and then go on to earn my master's degree. I am the one who moved to a completely different state in my 40s just with me and my son. And I loved it. In case you didn't know, I taught myself how to crochet by watching videos on YouTube. I pulled our 31-foot fifth wheel 200 miles completely by myself. And you know what? I did have a mishap, but I trusted in myself and I took care of it. Y'all, I've done some crazy things. I've done some things that have been full of fear, that have been scary. And you know what? I don't often give myself credit for having done those things. And the funny thing is that I keep moving forward. I keep looking for the next best thing. I keep looking for what can I do next. And so that's what this is. This entrepreneurship, choosing to be an entrepreneur, choosing to walk into the unknown, that's one of those other things that I am pushing past my fear, that I am pushing past being scared, pushing out of the box of my comfort zone. And so I want to share with you just how I've done this. I want to share with you the steps that I have taken that have led me to pushing past that comfort zone. So remember when I told you that my coach had asked me to do this exercise. And so I have been having this thought of other people are waiting to see you fail. And remember I said that basically that translates into you are just waiting to see you fail. So my news story is that I am excited to see what I will do next. I've taken some pretty big risks in my life, and it took courage to do that. So that is my new thought. That is the new story that I plan to believe. Here is the how. Here is what I am applying every single day to push myself forward and create the life that I want to love. You notice I didn't say create the life I want to live. No. Create the life that I want to love. And let me tell you, it all started with a dream. Something, ladies, you do not do often enough. It was a little spark of interest. And when I allowed that spark of interest, I was able to allow curiosity. I became curious about what I could do with this dream. You see, I have always loved helping other people, and I love sharing anything that I am learning, especially technology. And something that I couldn't understand, something that I didn't understand is I couldn't figure out why other people were just staying stagnant in life, allowing life to happen to them. And when I was having these thoughts of not understanding while other people were just allowing life to happen to them, it caused me to start to question myself. It caused me to start to think that something was wrong with me. Why couldn't I just be happy where I was at? Why couldn't I just be content with the way that my life had been going? And so this is where I started to get curious about my personal growth. So over about a year in my journey to figuring out why I couldn't just be happy, I had found 3 different personal development coaches. Now, coaches and life coaches was something that was completely new to me. I had never heard of a life coach. And the cool thing about it is that each of these coaches that I had come across were actually focusing in different areas. So let me show you an example. So one was focusing on becoming a runner, even though you were overweight. Another person was focusing on losing weight. And another coach that I had come into contact with focused on stop over drinking. And as I came across these different coaches, I thought, wow, they're all focusing on different life growths, but their core messages all sounded alike. And after some other curiosity and doing some research, they all pointed me to the same direction. They all pointed me towards the life coach school. And I thought, what? There is a school for this? So guess what? I was in. Like I started listening to the podcast and I started learning the skills and I started applying them to the areas that I wanted progress in my own life. And I soon started to notice that my thoughts were changing. I was noticing certain thoughts that I was having, and a lot of them made me feel like crap, quite frankly. I was noticing that I was judging myself quite a bit. And the horrible thing to say is that the things that I was judging in myself, I noticed that I was also judging those same things in other people. And man, when you really become aware of this, gosh, dog it feels yucky. And what I discovered is that I did not want to live my life this way anymore. And so I continued to learn and I continued to apply these new principles and I continued to notice changes within myself. And this is when I got the email inviting me to become a certified life coach. What? Can I really do that? Let me look into it. Let me investigate. And then let me see the price tag. Yikes. When I saw that price tag, disappointment came in. And then fear. It felt like my dream was completely out of my reach. And what a load of garbage. These were the things that I was telling myself. Look at all these wonderful changes that you are creating within your life. Look at how your relationships are changing. These are the things that I'm telling myself. Look at how your relationships with your adult children is changing. Look at how your relationship with your husband is changing. Quite honestly, we went from having an all heated out argument at least once a week to right now, I can't even tell you the last time that we had an argument. That's how my life was changing. My attitude and my thought process towards my current job completely changed. I went from dragging my feet into that building every day to standing tall and walking proudly and being excited to serve those kids every day instead of drudging in, thinking about 3:30. Okay? That's how this work has changed me. And so when I look at that price tag and I say, oh man, that's not for me. No, total garbage. Because guess what, Christy? You're the woman who was sacking groceries in your 20s because your little family needed the extra income. You're the woman who was changing the diapers of vulnerable adults because Minnesota didn't accept your teaching degree. You're the one who worked a second job after your divorce so that Christmas shopping for your kids didn't dip into your living expenses. You're the woman who figures it out. And so I did. Ladies, when you want something bad enough, and wanting happiness should warrant you want something bad enough, you need to pull up those bootstraps and do what it takes to get it. You're not promised tomorrow. Stop telling yourself you will do it tomorrow and wait for some big sign from the universe that this is the time. I'm telling you, the time is now. The next thing that I did was I figured out how to pay that price tag and I did the work. Yep. So attending the life coach school is a year-long training program. And during this entire time, I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I didn't know that I was going to eventually want to be an entrepreneur and open up my own business. And the thing about it is that no matter what that price tag was, it was a huge investment in myself. And how I know that this was the right move for me is because I had so much peace within myself. I became so much more aware of the thoughts that I was thinking and how those thoughts were creating my results. And the majority of the results at the time were not good, right? The majority of those results were keeping me stuck in fear, keeping me staying stagnant in a life that was not fulfilling. And when I decided to invest in myself and put forth the work, I thought, how the heck can I keep this just to myself? How can I just take this entire learning experience, this entire learning explosion, this change that I was making for myself? How can I just keep this for myself? And so this is when I decided I have got to share this with other women. I have got to share this life-changing experience because I know there are other women out there who are not fulfilled with joy. There are other women out there who are questioning their purpose, who don't know where they're going to go next once their adult children are out into the world doing their thing. And you're left at home, just you and the spouse, and trying to figure out how to be a couple again. How can I keep this just for myself? And that is when I decided that I wanted to believe in me, and I wanted to believe in my teaching abilities, and I wanted to believe in the fact that I have this gift. I have this special gift that I can bring to other women. I have this knowledge that I can bring to them so that they can start to find that fulfillment, to find that courage, to decide on a dream. And then the next thing that I did, I thought about why. I thought about all the reasons why I wanted to do this work and all of the reasons why I love this work. And let me tell you, the clients that I have already served, I love when they tell me how their relationships are changing. I love when they tell me that they are starting to love themselves. Women who are in their 40s and 50s and who are still carrying around baggage from earlier relationships, who are still carrying around baggage of being a young version of themselves and feeling that they are not enough. I love it when they start taking care of themselves, when they start loving themselves exactly as they are right now, and they are making these transformations. That is my why. That is the why that I absolutely love. And I love how my relationships are changing. I love how I can have a wonderful conversation with my adult children, and I don't feel like I have to impose upon my thoughts and my opinions on what they are doing. I can have a conversation with them that is just filled with love and just filled with joy. And I absolutely love when my clients tell me of their breakthroughs and how they are becoming more aware of the thoughts that are holding them back and how they are becoming creators of their own destinies. You see, when you love your why, you are all in. So on the days when things are getting tough and I am questioning my decision, I can always look back at my why. I can always look back at why I have chosen to do this work. And I can always look back at why I have chosen to love myself enough to do this work and love you enough to share it with you. That is my why. And then the last thing that I did was I got my own personal coach. Even after I went through my life coach certification, And I learned all of the skills of how to coach other people. And I learned all of the skills of how to coach myself. I loved myself enough to recognize that I needed a coach. Okay? Because even though I have those self-coaching skills, there are still times when my human brain wants to offer me crap, wants to offer me thoughts that are believable. Yeah. Like thoughts that in my brain, I know it kind of sounds like nonsense, but it's still believable. And so as a coach, I know that the human brain is going to offer things that are so powerful that make us think that they are real. And so as a coach, I know that my coach can help me see the forest through the trees. And what an investment that has been for me. And so I recommend to you, get a coach. Even if you do just a couple of sessions to kind of get you jump started into the direction that you want to go, that will kind of get you jump started into how you can push past fear, to give you that little bit of courage that's going to make you take that next step forward, I encourage you to do that, because you don't have to live in unfulfillment. You don't have to live your life regretting the last 5 years. You don't have to just let the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years pass you by in the thought of, I wish I had, I should have, it's no longer available to me. Decide today that anything you want is available to you. Decide today that you can do hard things, that you can do scary things. Push one step past that and you will have the evidence that you need to do those scary things, to do the things that are going to help you have a fulfilled life from here moving forward. Live your life out loud. Live your life on purpose. So just as a recap, here are the 4 things that I did in the last 5 years to help me to move forward in my dreams, to help me decide that yes, I do have a gift to share. I do have the ability to help other women create fulfillment, create joy, create a life that they love and desire every single day. So here are my 4 things. First, I allowed myself to dream. I allowed myself to have a dream, and I didn't just sit on that dream. I did the work. I put in the work that it takes to fulfill that. I did the work that it takes to make my dream a reality. The third thing I did is I loved my why. I loved the desire that was going to push me forward every single day into achieving what it is that I want to achieve. And the fourth thing that I did was I hired my own personal coach. I hired my own personal coach that is going to help me every single day to find the thoughts that I need, to help me get rid of the thoughts I no longer want, that is going to help me to create the life that I want for myself. And I hope you will do these 4 things too. So I hope that you have found this episode to be empowering and inspiring. My hope is that through my words, you will begin to think about your own life, and you will begin to realize that only you have the power to create the life that you want to live. And you know what? I can show you how. Together, we can build the skills and the strategies that will become second nature to you in creating your own journey. each week, I set aside free time on my calendar to connect with women who are just like me, who want to learn more. Women who know that they want to make lasting changes, but don't know where to start. You see, my journey is all about helping as many women as I can to reach that potential that they desire for their lives. So connect with me at KristiBallardFalani.com. That's KristiBallard, F as in Frank, ALANY.com, and click on the Work With Me page so that you can set up your free chat. It by no means obligates you to anything. It's just an opportunity for us to connect one-on-one and talk about some of the struggles that you may be facing and how my program will be able to help you. You can also connect with me through Instagram and Facebook. I offer a ton of free content to help you get moving forward into being that strong woman that you desire to be. I hope that you will reach out. Have an amazing week, you guys. Who is your life coach? I would love the opportunity to work with you as you are rediscovering the woman you were meant to be. Visit KristiBallardFalani.com for more information on how we can work together to ignite that passionate, enthusiastic woman who may have been tucked away for some time. Let's start in the middle together.